Compression boots are those cuffs that inflate and deflate that you can put around either your calves or your whole leg sometimes. And the thinking is that as they inflate and deflate in a rhythmic pattern, they improve your circulation as well as your lymph drainage. Now, in theory, anything that improves lymph drainage should help you to get rid of waste products after exercise more quickly, which again in theory should help you recover better. But what does the research show? Is there any evidence that yes, they help for recovery? And are they any better than any other recovery methods, including just sitting on the couch? If you're interested in what the settings were that the researchers used in the studies, I've included that in the later stage of this video. You can jump to the chapters to see where that is. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Maryke. I'm one of the physiotherapists from sportsinjuryphysio.com, where you can get online physiotherapy assessment as well as treatment for any type of sports injury, all done via video call. Now, I realize it sounds a bit weird to do treatments and diagnosis via video call because shouldn't we be touching you? But we've discussed in detail on our website why it is such an effective method to use for the types of sports injuries we treat. And if you're interested in that, have a look at the description. I've put a link to the website there. The first study we're going to look at is a 2024 review study where they looked at 17 different trials and it included 319 athletes across those 17 trials. Now, the only thing that showed a significant improvement when people used the compression boots was that they perhaps had a little bit less DOMS, so delayed onset muscle soreness, 48 hours after a workout. It was a small improvement in pain compared to the other groups, but it was a significant improvement. When it came to muscle function, there wasn't any evidence really that that the muscle function of people who used compression boots got restored more quickly than others. When they looked at specific biomarkers, so things like lactate levels or enzymes that show that your muscles got damaged during exercise or signs of inflammation, they didn't really find any consistent evidence that compression boots helped you recover more quickly or better than any other methods. These results were pretty much echoed in a 2025 review study, which looked at compression boots versus other methods of recovery commonly used, things like stretching, massage, plain rest, compression socks, for instance. And what the results showed that, well, the recovery was pretty much similar, didn't matter which device or what method it was compared to. But there weren't a lot of direct comparison studies that they could find. So this means that the results could either be worse than what they should be or better than what they should be. So we can't really make a certain judgment on this just yet. Then there's a really interesting 2025 review study where they compared more high-tech ways of recovery. And they included red light therapy as well as neuromuscular electrical stimulation as well as compression boots. Neuromuscular electrical stimulation is where you stick electrodes on your legs or whatever part of the body you want to recover and make the muscles contract, relax. And the thinking is that it acts as an active recovery. Well, what they found was there was actually good evidence that red light therapy, especially if you use it before a training session, leads to less delayed onset muscle soreness after the session, as well as improved function the day afterwards. Compared to the other two methods, the compression boots and the neuromuscular electrical stimulation didn't really perform any better than just resting. If you're interested in red light therapy and how to use that for recovery, I've actually written an article about that I'm still meaning to do the video about that. But have a look at the description. There's a link to the article there with settings and everything that they use in the research that's been shown to be effective. One of the questions I had while I was reading the research was that I was wondering whether part of the reason there's such mixed results is that some studies use just the compression boots around the ankle or the calf versus others use full-length ones, and what difference that would make. But I couldn't find any studies that had a direct comparison between the two. So there's definitely a lot of research still needed in all of this. But in summary, yes, it may help a little bit with your pain decrease, similar to what massage usually does, or that's been shown for foam rolling as well. But there doesn't seem to be any clear other benefits from it at the moment. Although there may be a strong placebo effect, and we shouldn't disregard placebo effects, because if an athlete feels better or more recovered after they've done exercise, then that actually translates in better performance the next day as well. Because we know that, yes, part of your performance is physical, but a huge part of that is also mental. If you still want to give compression boots a go, then the most commonly used settings were for pressure. They looked for between 60 and 100 millimeters mercury. Below 60 is not really enough compression. Above 100, you can cause blood flow restriction, be counterproductive. The sessions lasted for between 20 and 30 minutes, and they did 1 to 2 sessions per day. If you want to see examples of devices, I've added them in the description. Go have a look there. And yeah, let me know if you've got any questions. Hope you found that useful. Also tell me if you've got any experience with this, what you found. Did it help you recover? Take care.